What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 9. Now, if you clicked on this video expecting to see my face, I apologize in advance because that's not going to be that type of video. I am tired and I don't know what's going on outside, but everybody getting sick and I am trying my best to fight it. So I'm hoping it's just fatigue and nothing else. But let's get into this review. So y'all know sometimes before we get into the reviews, we get a little spicy over here, okay? Just a little bit, and I just got a few things to talk to y'all about. So first up, I guess congratulations are in order because Eugene and Toya just purchased another home, house number 3. Girl, I know them kids is sick of moving. I know they sick of moving. But congrats to them. So let's move on. So it looks like they are gearing up to film the reunion. Andy did his annual tweet where it says, "My team is getting ready for the Married to Medicine reunion. Post all of your questions for the cast now and let me know where you're from in the question." And that was posted on January the 26th. So I'm guessing they'll probably film the reunion in February and then we'll get it in March. So it looks like something that I talked about in possibly episode 6, maybe 5, Spicy Corner has been making its rounds. So the Bravo Shade Room posted a clip of Sweet Tea's YouTube video of where she was talking about the altercation that happened at the Dude Ranch with Contessa and Heavenly, as well as what happened between her and Quad. And a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. I'm recording this on Tuesday. They posted this on Monday. And when I tell you the people have not let up off of her yet, it's hilarious. So let me read the caption. It says, "Sweet Tea says Quad ran up in her face and was chest bumping her. It's a jealousy thing or something. I have something that you want that you no longer have. She feels a certain way that I'm with Gregory, hashtag Married to Medicine." So let me set the scene for you guys. I know I already talked about this, but we'll just talk about it again since it's become more relevant now. So Sweet Tea basically said that the reason why her hat fell off when you watch that episode when Simone is trying to help her put her hat back on and she's angrily cutting scallops is because her and Quad got into it and she basically told Quad, "I don't know why you let her get in your head," basically referencing Heavenly. So then Sweet Tea says Quad comes from around the table and says, "I don't know why you let her get in your head," as she chest bumps her, basically saying Toya. She goes on to say that, she thinks the reason why Quad has issues with her is because she's jealous. Now, I do remember Heavenly talking about that situation as well, but Heavenly didn't say anything about chest bumping. She said Quad basically read Sweet Tea her rights and told her, "Girl, you can't tell me nothing about your relationship with your husband because I have my own experience. It may not be the same, but I know what I dealt with that man, and you can't take that away from me." And I said, that's a very true statement. But I don't know why she thinks Quad is jealous. The energy I get from Quad is that, girl, she's more so irritated that you decide to come to her job and try to take up space. I don't think she wants Gregory. It'd be totally different if Gregory was a different person in the sense of personality, if he had more money, more status, things of that nature. But Gregory seems to be the same person that he was when Quad left him, just older. No different. And that's who you got. You're in her old house. What is there to be jealous of? She has a bigger house. I love her backyard. I love Quad's backyard. A bigger house. She has a man who seemingly seems to really love and support her, that she's like falling for, that has a job that seems to be equal to a job that seems to be equal to her, making a decent amount of money. She has a friend group that she loves on this show and off the show. Like, girl, it's not giving what you think is given. And I would be so curious to see what Sweet Tea's like dating history is, because I'm just wondering, like, girl, this is all these are the Gregory was the only option. You and I don't believe he was. I really don't believe he was, because Sweet Tea's not ugly. So I'm just like, the personality is kind of dry, but I'm just kind of like, there had to be better options for you, ma'am. There just had to be, for you to settle down with somebody 23 years older than you, and it's grumpy, stingy Gregory. So continuing with Sweet Tea, let's talk about her potentially saying that she might not be coming to the reunion. So it says this, and this is coming from Jay's reality blog. T on whether or not she will be attending the hashtag Married to Medicine season 11 reunion. I've debated on whether or not I was going. I'm focusing on my baby making journey and all these things and my marriage and all that. I just been busy, but coming around to the decision. So then they said that they got this from Reality T, and there's an article, and I will link that in the description box below. But I guess she don't want to get paid, because what do you mean you're not coming to the reunion? You've been on your YouTube channel talking slick about almost pretty much everybody, and you not trying to come to the reunion. What does baby making and your marriage have to do to you not showing up to the reunion, bro? It's giving scary. Or it's giving this is her last season, which I think a lot of people would be happy for. But that, like, her reasoning for not coming doesn't make sense to me. So next, let's talk about Quad. So Quad was on the Sherry Shepherd show. She's currently doing like a press run right now. And Sherry asked about, the fight that takes place between her man and Dr. G. She also asks her about Phaedra. Now, I don't have the clip, but I'm going to read the synopsis that Bravo Shade Room posted. And it goes like this. Quad says while on the couples trip, Dr. G got in his feelings and her man King checked him on it. No man is going to allow another man to disrespect his woman, especially in his presence. Quad is disappointed in Phaedra because she's up to the same tricks. Hashtag Married to Medicine. So I listened to the clip, and basically what it sounds like is that they were playing like a game, and that's what it seems like is going to ignite the fight that actually happens when they're on the beach or on the barge or whatever they were at. Because if you read the synopsis for next episode, I think it's called like Battle of the Exes. And it basically says like they were playing like this couples game, and then things get heated. Now, we don't know if somebody started the shade fest between Gregory and Quad, because if you look at the clips of like what is to come as well, you see them arguing back and forth. But it sounds like Gregory might have started it, and King pretty much was like, I'm gonna finish it. But we won't know until we actually see the episode. And so when she talks about Phaedra, she's just like, she was happy to have Phaedra be around, but then Phaedra started acting and doing things that we know her to do when she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she was just like, I don't get down like that. And I don't fault Quad. So next, I do have this clip is of Quad basically explaining the whole like check situation on Watch What Happens Live. So let me play that for you.
We got questions wanting to know if Phaedra had given her check to Dr. Jackie yet.
Okay, so she did give her check to Dr. Jackie. The thing was, when Heavenly said the check was bad, it wasn't bad. It was just one of those checks where I'm going to write you this check, but don't cash it until next month.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So basically, she wrote the check I think it was June 8th, and she told the people don't cash it until July 7th. So no, we did the Met Gala. I'm sorry, we did the Met Gala on June 8th.
Okay.
And then she wrote the check on July 7th. So it was one of those things.
Oh, okay. She did send me a copy of the canceled check.
Yes.
So she did write the check.
Yes, she did write the check.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense what Quad is saying. I just feel like this didn't need to be as big as it was, and that's because Heavenly made it more than that. But it is what it is. As long as the charity got their money, I guess we can all move on. All right, y'all. So let's talk about it. So in this episode, we actually see Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Simone go to the White House. So we're at Jackie's house with Dr. Heavenly. She's like making them daiquiris. And I'm kind of with Heavenly girl. If you're not going to put no alcohol in it, I don't really want no daiquiri. Okay. And so they're sitting beside the pool, and Jackie ends up telling her, girl, well, I got invited to the White House and I'm taking Simone. And Emily's like, girl, you taking Simone? Are you serious? I'm the one that was the co-chair of the Med Gala. Like, are you serious? And then Jackie said, girl, I can take two people. You want to come? And she's like, of course. And so she's excited. They're both excited. Jackie says, I know Heavenly wasn't on her best behavior when we went, to the dude ranch, but I feel like she'll be on her best behavior at the White House. I said she gonna have to be. We then see Check and Phaedra on a date. It was awkward because they sit down and they're talking. Phaedra keeps saying like she dates like white people. Even production was like, what's the difference between white people dating and black people dating? And she basically says, when black people think you're dating, they think y'all are like in an intimate relationship. But when white people think you're dating, that's just what it is. I said, that must be a generational thing because the white people I grew up with got down. They got down. Okay, so I'm just kind of like, what are you talking about? And like I said, it must be a generational thing because if I ask any of my friends, like, hey, like you guys are dating, I don't automatically assume that they are in an intimate relationship with those people until I'm like, hey, y'all getting it in? And they be like, yes or no. I get confirmation. But I said, okay, Phaedra. So then the guy ends up asking her, like, so what do you do for a living? And I was like, I know you know what Phaedra does for a living. You're an African man that lives in Atlanta. And the way that Portia and Phaedra be running through these Africans like nothing down in Atlanta, I know you heard of Phaedra Parks. And she was like, well, I'm a mortician and my career is I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney. And I said, when the last time we seen Phaedra in a courtroom or prepare a case? I said, can you really call it a career if you don't do it anymore? You know? Because it's not like she retired from it, or unless she did, I don't know. So I said, okay. So then Shek lets it be known that he knows Apollo. And Phaedra is like, well, everybody know Apollo, so I'm not surprised. And then he lets it be known that he actually knows his wife as well. And so Phaedra kind of has his face like, so you hang out with them? And he's like, no, I just like know them. And I was confused because I'm just like, what 30-year-old is hanging out with Apollo and I don't know his wife's name. Like, how old is she? That didn't make sense to me. I wanted them to like dive deeper into that, but we kind of moved on from that because Phaedra was like, she appreciated his honesty. So I was like, okay, cool. So then the next scene we have is the girls in DC. So they're telling Heavenly, like, this is what you can't do. This is what you just don't get detained. I said, yeah, girl, don't get detained. And do not get detained in DC, especially at the White House. So they get there. They're super excited. Jackie is like, okay, I'm about to meet a soror. She even hit us with a ski wee. I said, okay, Jackie. Jackie is really excited. She is just basking in this moment. And Heavenly and Simone are super excited as well. They make their way into the press room. And the next thing you know, we see Kamala Harris. And when I tell you, my heart dropped because she sat there with such a beautiful smile, speaking so eloquently. And like, I'm like, this is who we could have had. Somebody with freaking sense, not somebody that is dismantling everybody's civil rights, that got people crying on the internet because they now don't know if they're going to be able to feed their kids because they're trying to take away SNAP benefits. You got kids stressed out in college because they don't know if they're going to get their Pell Grants or their federal like FAFSA funds because now they people disconnecting the financial aid phone because they don't know how to deal with this. Like, you got people being rounded up like cattle by ICE. Like, it's so much going on. And I was just like, this is who we could have had. But when people's hearts are filled with bigotry and hate, this what happens. This is what happened. Y'all blatantly ignore good things. And I'm just like, my God, today. I was so irritated watching this. So irritated. So they start talking about the issues with Roe v. Wade being repealed and how physicians are being criminalized before administering proper care to those who need it. So Simone talks about, I have had patients whose babies have severe birth defects that it would be basically inhumane to let someone carry full term a baby and let the mom suffer and the baby suffer. Heavenly ends up saying like it's messed up that people can't do their jobs anymore. So it seemed to have been a great conversation. We then see the ladies actually meet VP Harris, take pictures, and Jackie was like, girl, she don't even remember what she said. She just was so happy to meet her. And I was just like, this was a beautiful moment, a really nice moment. So then we start to see all the couples start packing for Key West. We see Heavenly packing, and then she ends up calling Phaedra, basically telling her that she invited Apollo, and is Phaedra okay with that? Now we know that's a producer move and they just needed Heavenly to do it to be messy. But what's interesting to me about this scene is there was a rumor going around that Phaedra didn't know Apollo and his wife were coming, but we blatantly see that Heavenly asked Phaedra on the phone, like, hey girl, is it cool if he comes? And Phaedra didn't say no. She pretty much was like, yeah, we're in a good place. So that pretty much means, girl, yes, he came and you knew about it. So I don't get why she left the show unless because it's not like you got blindsided, because that's what they were saying, is that she got blindsided by Apollo and his wife coming. But we see, Heavenly asking her on camera, on FaceTime, can that man come? Now, should he be a part of the show? No. Honestly, Phaedra doesn't make sense to be a part of this show, but Apollo definitely doesn't make sense to be a part of the show. But I blame Phaedra, because if you hadn't tried to pull Apollo as your Jack and pull him out at the last reunion, they wouldn't have had the initiative to try to make him a part of the show, because they would have known not to touch that. But you brought him around the group, so now they're like, okay, I guess it's fair game because she cool with him. That's a Phaedra problem. So we then see Sweet Tea and Gregory getting ready for the trip. And girl, Gregory trying to act like he's so traumatized by Quad that he don't know if he want to go on the trip. I was just like, you're annoying. And if I was Sweet Tea, I'd be irritated, because that would tell me that there's still something there. Because what do you mean you don't want to go on the trip? And then Sweet Tea's like, well, Quad has friends and Gregory has friends. Quad's been a part of this group since Gregory has left. Gregory has been in the shadows, but it doesn't seem like he was really in the clique like that. So I just need both of them to get a grip. Get a grip. So then we also see King and Quad packing, and Quad asks him, are you going to be okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm not living in the past. But I do like that Quad told him, when we go on this trip, they're going to be asking questions and bringing up things from my past that I just want you to be prepared for and not feel blindsided by. And I mean, Quad is smart because she know this cast for their work. She know her group of friends in this production team. They will definitely start asking messy and shady questions to kick off some mess between them. But King basically says, girl, I'm ready for whatever. I it's whatever. I don't really care about these people like that. So we then see the couples make it to Key West. Cecil and Simone get there first. And then next thing you know, we see Mimi and Steven. He's excited. Everyone's excited. Then we see Contessa and Scott. We also see Heavenly. Everybody's there. Right now, Phaedra is there as well, but she's not with anybody just yet. So we also see Toya basically telling King to go give Dr. Gregory a hug. And King looked at her and she was like, good energy, good energy. And King was like, girl, get out my face. So then Cecil and Simone end up saying that, honestly, nobody's worried about King. Everybody's worried about Quad and Gregory, because they don't really say nice things about each other. So the tension is really coming from them two. But I was just like, if Gregory stays on his side and Quad stays on hers, there shouldn't be no issues. So then we actually see Heavenly go and hug Sweet Tea and like say hello to her because last episode they went out after Sweet Tea's speed dating event, and we also find out that she apologized to Dr. Gregory, and she says, I apologized again, and things seem to be good. So she was like, I don't got no problem with her. We then have this scene with Contessa giving Heavenly a hug, but she drags her to the ground. And honestly, that was Contessa's way of showing Heavenly, like, girl, if I want to hurt you, I will. Because there's no way that if we're not in a good place, you grab me like that I'm not going to start like swinging and thinking you trying to like hurt me. But Heavenly took it in stride and everyone was like laughing about it. But I was just like, girl, she did that to prove a point, in my opinion. So the next scene we have is all the couples getting to their rooms, and they all have different colored t-shirts, and we find out that they're doing like a kayaking, paddleboarding relay. So depending on what shirt you have, that depends on the team that you're on. So as they're all sitting down in the, I guess, a restaurant trying to eat and stuff, Phaedra comes out and she cut her shirt up, and they were like, girl, did you really cut your shirt up? And she was like, well, yeah, like y'all do too little, I do the most. I said, okay, Phaedra. So then Simone says, Phaedra, did you see the shirts that we had? And it was like the shirts end up saying bitches like y'all or something like that. Oh, these kinds of bitches, that's what it says. And they were like, Phaedra, did you see the shirts? And we're just trying to understand like what you meant by that. And so Phaedra basically explains like, well, y'all were trying to like play on my head and try to make it seem like I don't do this, like I won't help y'all really fundraise, and that's why I said what I said. So then Quad interjects and said, well, I guess they took offense to it because it's like, how are you gonna say these kinds of bitches when it's like these are, she said, these some glorious women. So that was kind of messed up for you to say. But Quad basically, Phaedra basically says she don't get what they mad about or what they pressed about. It is what it is. So basically, Phaedra is standing on what she said. When I tell you, I'm going to be so happy when Phaedra leaves this show and takes her fans with her, because Phaedra fans to me are delusional. They always talk about, oh, Phaedra gonna read the girls, Phaedra's gonna collect the girls. Yet have we seen Phaedra collect the girls? Phaedra only gets slick in the confessional. And it's also looking like she might not even go to the reunion, which I think is pathetic because you don't really have a reason not to go. I feel like y'all gas Phaedra up, and every single time she gives us nothing. And to say that these women are jealous of Phaedra, I think is a reach, because it's like, what is there to be jealous of? They make almost probably about maybe a little less than Phaedra, because Phaedra gets endorsements and stuff like that, and we don't know how much those are. But like intellectually, they're on the same level, if not higher than Phaedra. Like edge, like monetarily, they might be on the same level as her, a little lower than her. Some people might be making more than her. But to say that the girls are jealous of Phaedra is just, that's low hanging fruit. I just think they clocked Phaedra and they see Phaedra for who she is, and they clocked that lady was trying to sun them, and so now they want to sun her back. That's it. That's all. So the last thing we see is everybody getting ready to do the kayaking relay challenge. And, they're in their groups. People are nervous because don't nobody want to fall into the water. But it looks like they're going to have a good time. And that's where the episode ends. So that is it. That is all. And as always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in the comments below and share your thoughts. And remember to like and subscribe. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.